video, I'm going to talk a little bit about pet loss and grief. So if that's something that you are sensitive to, then I recommend that you do not watch this video. Hey guys, I'm here in La Guardia in Spain, in the area of Pontevedra in Galicia. I used to live here in 2019. My two dogs, Max and Jubi, if you've ever seen the tattoos that I have on my arm, that is them. Unfortunately, they both passed away from unrelated incidents when we were here in La Guardia. So I'm back today, first of all picking up some of my stuff from when I used to live here, getting to spend some time with some of my friends, which is nice. We're gonna go to a furancho, which is kind of like a seasonal farm-to-table restaurant here in Galicia. They'll have wine and cheese and probably some dishes made with eggs and pork that are grown only on their property, and they're allowed to open their doors to the public during a certain period of the year. So we're gonna take advantage of that. It's something very typical from this area. And last night we went out in Vigo when they picked me up. I just checked out of the Airbnb early and we actually had a couple of drinks and went dancing, and it was actually a really big deal because Spain just lifted, it was either last weekend, yeah, just lifted last weekend the restriction that masks are mandatory in outdoor open air spaces. So they are no longer mandatory in those spaces. They're still mandatory inside. And before this, the nightclubs were open, but you had to reserve a table, sit at that table. You could not stand up and dance. You had to sit there with your mask on. So still something. But last night was the first night that because it was Friday night, was the first night that the clubs were open. People could dance. Now you had to dance with your mask on, of course. But it was a really big deal. So a lot of people were out because this is the first time that they've been out in 2 years. And there's, this is really how young people like have fun. And because there are a lot of small towns, well, even in the major cities, this is really how young people like make friends and, find someone to go on a date with and all that kind of stuff. This is really the social scene. So it's a really big deal. And, honestly, I didn't know that I needed that. I kind of was like, oh, I have all my luggage. Like, I want to go to bed. I just finished work. It's 11 p.m. But it was really nice. It was really nice to just relax, have a drink or two, dance. Anyway, La Guardia is a really beautiful place. I'll show you more of it. And you can smell the salt in the air. You can smell the sea when you arrive. You can hear the waves. It's really nice, really laid back. But it's also the place where I spread the ashes of my two dogs, Max and Jubi. So, sorry, my arm's getting tired. Today, in addition to picking up my stuff, spending time with my friend, and going to Furancho, I am also doing a little walk in remembrance of them. So Jubi died just over 2 years ago, and Max about 1.5 years ago. And like I said, I spread their ashes all along the coast here and in a few other areas. So I'm doing a little walk, just thinking of them, remembering them. And honestly, it's at first it was like, okay, yeah, I remember walking here. I remember all of this because I used to walk in this area a ton. But just now it really hit me right before I recorded this video. Like, the tattoo that I have of Max is taken from a photo where he's running joyfully along this path towards me. And it's literally this path, just like right over there where it was taken. Have a lot of good memories over here with him and Jubi. Even though Jubi only lived in Spain for 1 month before she passed, we did a lot of walks along the coast. And so it's nice to think of them in a good way, but it's sad as well, even though the time has passed and I have new pets. Nothing will ever take their spot in my heart, and I miss them. And so yeah, it's a little bittersweet being back here, but I'm glad to have the opportunity. It's a very overcast day here in Galicia, which is very typical. It's extremely rainy in this part of the world, or well, in this area, I should say, all year. Usually the summer isn't as bad, but it's been extremely rainy. Honestly, I don't mind. It keeps things cool, but I was feeling a little sad, and I walked around the corner. I don't know if you can see it behind me, those small white dots. There are a bunch of RVs, and this is an area where people like to do some free camping. There are some cold water showers, lots of beaches, and it's a nice little town. And so that brought a little smile to my face, thinking like, you know, even though Max and Jubi aren't physically with me right now, like there's a future ahead. You know, I have my pets, I have my van, and one day I will, hopefully I will come back to visit Europe again soon, but one day I will be overlanding Europe with my pets, which is something I always dreamed of doing with Max and Jubi. And it was kind of just a little, I don't know, brought me a little hope, maybe, something like that, when I went around the corner. So that was nice. So I'm heading towards the RVs. I'll just hit the Camino de Santiago, where, well, Elena and I actually started up in the town and hiked all the way down to here, but we took a different path than what we're taking right now. Well, it's just me. But yeah, I'll just hike over to where I started the Camino, and then I spread their ashes up in the mountain and a few other places. So it'll actually be really nice to get a bunch of walking in today, because honestly, I started a new online job on Wednesday. It's going really well. But because of the time zone difference, it's been between 4 and 11 p.m. every day, or 3 and 11 p.m. And I also, you know, I have some other projects and work that I do as well, and I was really behind on some other work stuff. So I literally been working like 12 to 14 hour days. I basically just been waking up, working, and then like watch a little Netflix and go to bed, which is not healthy at all. So, and I'm gonna be flying back to Mexico this weekend. It's a long flight. So cute. Oh my God, good watch, doggy. Anyway, that's a little life update for you guys. Sorry for the bouncy camera. I still haven't got used to like using my selfie stick, and even that doesn't have a stabilizer. So, you know, eventually our tech will get better, but for now, this is what you get. In case you're wondering why I'm going back to Mexico, that is a great question. As you know, before I did the Camino de Santiago, I was really trying to figure out what to do next. Like, if I don't have a job, it's really hard to make plans. And anyway, I did get a job, so that's wonderful. I'm very excited about that. But I just decided that because of a few different factors, it would be a good idea for me to go back to Mexico right now, rather than stay in Europe longer this summer. Which is something that I had originally wanted to do, but honestly the plan has changed so many times that, like, you know, who knows. Anyway, so at first, you know, I was feeling a little sad about it, because I really was looking forward to staying in Europe longer, and I had reached out to a couple of friends, like, okay, maybe I'll come visit you, and trying to coordinate some plans. I had kind of drawn up like a potential roadmap in my mind, like, okay, I'll do this, this, and this, and then in that month I'll do blah, 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 blah. But anyway, now that I have actually got my ticket to go back to Mexico and I got everything arranged, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I mean, of course, I'm still a little bit sad to leave Europe, but honestly, I've missed my pets a lot. You were probably wondering, where are my pets? What did I do with them? As you know, I have many animals, if you've been watching this channel for a while. They are back in Mexico. I have rented an apartment, and one of my friends is staying there taking care of them. So while apartments are very cheap in Mexico, of course, depending where you go, it's still a cost that I am having to pay while I'm here, and I'm also paying my friend for her services, which she's doing a great job, and the pets are definitely worth it. So, I mean, it's definitely something that needed to be done, but as you can imagine, those costs are accumulating. So I feel like it would be a good decision economically for me to go back, also in terms of time zone, because, you know, my new job is based in the US, so it's not so ideal having to work until 11 o'clock at night. I mean, it's doable, but it would be nice to have a more normal schedule. And as well, when I'm starting a new job, it would just be nice to be, I mean, certainly I can do it from anywhere in the world. I've been nomadic for quite a while now, but it would be nice to have a little bit of familiarity, a little bit of routine, even though, of course, going back, that means I'm going to have several more hours of pet care each day than I currently have, which is currently 0. But I do miss them. I love them, and I can't wait to see them. As well, you might know that my cat Chantique surprisingly gave birth last month, as we thought she was spayed. So that was why it was a surprise. And so I would love to meet the little kittens, and I'm planning on rehoming them later when they're able to get spayed and neutered, probably in another month or 2. And so it would be nice to spend a little time with her babies, considering she's going to get spayed soon, and hopefully none of my cats have kittens, because then they'll all be spayed. So anyway, I just think it'll be a good decision overall for me to go back to Mexico and kind of get a little bit more of a routine set up. So this is the mark of the Camino de Santiago telling you where to go and how many kilometers are left. So at this point, there's 160 kilometers left to get to Santiago Cathedral. And then the shell shows you in which direction you are going to be going. So you might notice that that looks a little familiar from my tattoo. And here are the cold water showers. This is Praza Area Grande. Very beautiful here in La Guardia. Someone's fishing. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue walking a bit. When I spread Max and Jubi's ashes on 2 separate occasions, the last little bit I spread in this area. So I come back, it's kind of my, touch point before I go the other direction. And how fitting that there are a couple of snails just hanging around on this flecha. I think just when I'm feeling a little sad and thinking, gosh, I really miss Max and Jubi, it's like a little sign that, life goes on, or however you want to interpret it, like their memories go on, or look at this guy falling out of his shell. Wow. Upside down snake. I guess maybe they're breeding? I don't know, because there's another shell there. Could be a little graphic little snail video. Anyway, that wasn't the point. The point was life goes on, and I felt kind of like, wow, what a nice little surprise. Maybe it's a sign, maybe it's something I'll take as a sign. Either way, some good memories with my pups. And it's nice to just have a little, this is just a rock, but have a little spot where I think of them and cherish the memories that we had together, and also look at these views. Okay, it turns out it wasn't snail porn. It was just a snail crawling over another snail. Now you can see. For some reason, I thought that snails were asexual, but I honestly don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, here he is. Well, guys, I remembered that when my pets passed, my friend sent me this song to listen to called Wildflowers by Tom Petty. And boy, that really got the waterworks going. That was really fitting, so take a listen. So this is Museo do Mar, or Museum of the Sea, here in La Guardia. I have actually never visited it because it's only open certain hours a week, and I'm sure it's even more restricted now from COVID. And here we are, down at the waterfront, this really cool mural. I used to walk Max and Jubi over there as well. And I think it might actually be like a helicopter landing pad for emergencies, because this is a small town. But here it says, A Guarda escrita nas estrellas. So La Guardia written in the stars. And you will see these designs on other things around town. If you look up hashtags on Instagram, for sure you're gonna see this mural. And for sure you're gonna see the spaceship down there. Even though it's blocked off, you can go down there. There's actually a geocache in this area that I cached. I've only done a couple of geocaches in my life, but one of them, I'm pretty sure it was over here, if I remember correctly. Oh no, maybe, but I think it's in another port area. And here's where I used to live, somewhere over in there-ish. This is the typical weekend market in La Guardia on Saturdays and Sundays. I was hoping the man would be here selling churros. It doesn't look like. You can buy all kinds of stuff for cheap. Mostly clothing, but sometimes there's plants and other stuff. Really not much food. Yeah, we'll see. So in the end, I got my churros. The man was selling 12 in a bag for €2. There's also like fruits and veggies for sale. It's where all the vendors park. And actually these machines There's one that has a hot sandwich. It's like ham and cheese. It comes out really hot. It's actually really good. Check out this little park where I just had my churro snack. I came here and had a picnic with Max, my dog. And one of the things I love about Spain is that there are so many picnic areas and there are so many parks and playgrounds for kids. I feel like it's so easy to get outside. It's so much easier to go around walking than it is in a lot of parts of the US. I feel like everything is walkable and distance doesn't feel that far here. Maybe that's just my perception, but here we are. So I'm going up, by we I mean me and you guys who are watching. I'm going up Monte Santa Tecla or Monte Santa Trega, same thing. One is in Gallego and the other is in Español, Castellano. And we'll be somewhere up higher than those trees. It's kind of a gradual climb. I think it'll take about 30 minutes to get to the top or so. Well, this is fitting. I think this means dog park. I could be wrong, but cans in Gallego is dogs, like canines, and very fitting because, well, you can't see it. I actually spread some of Jubi's ashes over here before it was a dog park. It didn't used to be a dog park. It was a construction area. And Jubi always loved dog parks, so how fitting that some of her ashes are now resting in what I believe is a dog park. You can't really see anything. I think it's basically a field. We'll get to see some ruins of what used to be a village. There are some circular houses that are very well known. There are a bunch that haven't even been fully uncovered all around this mountain. I would say if you happen to be in Galicia, Spain, or northern Portugal, definitely take the chance to come over, at least for a day. There's a lot of stuff you can do here just in a day. I mean, I'll show you guys some of the stuff I'm doing, literally just walking around. And there's also another castle that if I have time, I'll go up there and check it out. So guys, we haven't even got all the way up the mountain yet. I keep saying we. Over there's Portugal. I think the town is Caminha or Viana do Castelo. And this is the Río Miño that separates Portugal from, La Guardia. There's some cars going up. You have to pay, I think, €1 or €1.50 to go all the way up in car. But dang, even with the cloud cover, it's still really beautiful. I spread Max and Jubi's ashes up here, partially because we had good memories here and I know they enjoyed coming up and hiking, and partially because I thought they would enjoy the view and they could kind of keep watch on me in the town of La Guardia, even though I don't live there anymore. But I still don't regret spreading their ashes here. So here we go, some more steps. These aren't nearly as steep as before. Getting close to the top. I think the top is not too far. Pretty incredible and unique that people used to live here. You can imagine why they lived on the side of the mountain up high, to see who was coming to the land. Down there's La Guardia. So here you see both Spain and Portugal. Up on the top of Monte Santa Tecla or Monte Santa Trega, however you prefer to call it. There are a few little souvenir shops. Just when you think you've got the best view, dang, check that out. Amazing. Amazing. Do you recognize that? The port of La Guardia. Well, just as we're going down, the cloud cover is lifting. How beautiful. You can actually see pretty far now. Much more than you could see earlier. I even spread some of Max's ashes here in the woods. This was one of our secret spots. Nobody knew about it but us. I never saw anyone else here. I'm just enjoying my last Fanta Limon, probably. I really like Fanta Limon. I have yet to find that flavor in the US. And sitting by the beach where I used to live, enjoying the fact that the sun has come out. I stopped by the veterinary hospital and got to have a quick chat with my veterinary friends, which was great. And they took really good care of Max and Jubi for me when I lived here in Spain, and I really appreciate they really went above and beyond for them, especially in the last period of their life, and just were very compassionate and kind. And what more can you really ask for? You know, I can see that they're really passionate about what they do. So shout out to my friends at Veterinaria La Guardia. They're awesome. If you're ever here with your pets, definitely take your pets there. If you need anything at all, they have, well, this is not an advertisement, but anyway, you can check out their Facebook page. They have all kinds of holistic foods and any other thing that you might need. And in fact, their prices are quite reasonable. So anyway, it was great to see my friends. That's something that just feels nice, especially being nomadic, is having friends in different places and being able to spend time with them. It feels really nice. Yeah, it feels really nice. I also laughed to myself, like, of course I am friends with the veterinarians in the different places that I live. I guess when you spend a lot of time in different places, you tend to make friends. So anyway, it's been a nice day. I picked up some souvenirs that I'm gonna bring back for some of my friends in Mexico that helped me out with a few things while I was gone. And also a bottle of wine to gift to my friends that hosted me last night here in La Guardia. That was very nice of them. Oh, I guess I'll do a video when we go to the food rancho. That'll be really nice. So I'm looking forward to having some tasty food today. And after that, we'll head up to Vigo. So might be one of my last books at La Guardia for a while. Hopefully I'll be back in Europe next summer, and I'll definitely make a stop here, but there's no telling. So just see how the world is doing and where life takes me. Hola YouTube!
Hola YouTube!
The Fort of Goyan, which is where we went to our food rancho. And over there, Portugal.